tools required for this job are safety glasses, a multimeter with an amp clamp, a Phillips head screwdriver, wire cutters, a wire crimping tool, a wire stripper, a 1/8 inch drill bit, a drill, needle nose pliers, and a nut driver as shown. The first step in the process is make sure you shut off the circuit breaker and that no power is coming to the heat pump. It's a good idea to test with your voltmeter to ensure no power is coming to the heat pump. When you first open your board retrofit kit, make sure it has the following components: the 2-page wiring diagram, page 1 and page 2 as shown here, a packet of wire connectors, and these 2 sheet metal screws, and the new board assembly. This board will be installed into the vintage signature heat pump. First, remove the cover by unscrewing 2 screws at the bottom sides of the heat pump. Next, use a 1/8 inch drill bit to drill out the rivet points on the box containing the old board. Then unscrew the 2 screws located on the bottom and top of the box as shown. Remove the door and using wire cutters, cut the wires from the old board. Next, carefully strip the wires as shown. Then crimp on the new wire connectors that came with your retrofit kit. Make sure the connections are solid as you attach the new connectors. Repeat the process until all the wires except these 2 gray wires have connectors. These gray wires don't need connectors. They'll be held down with screws on a terminal strip later. Next, attach the new door to the hinges using the 2 sheet metal screws provided. To attach the wires to your new board, you will need to refer to this 2-page wiring diagram and your old board to ensure you're making the correct connections. We'll start with the easy connections first. This procedure will be easy once the simple connections are made. The first connections will be these 2 blue wires. They're connected to the low pressure switch, or LP, on the sticker in the heat pump. On the old board, you can see where the blue wire is connected to LPS. And on page 1 of the wiring diagram, you can see LPS has 2 blue wires that connect to LP on the bottom of the wiring diagram here. Look on the new board and you can see 2 poles labeled LPS. Next, attach the 2 blue wires to LPS on the new board. It makes no difference if you attach to the top or bottom poles. Just make sure you're attaching them to the ones labeled LPS or low pressure switch. Now we're going to look at the HPS and the 2 black wires coming from them. They connected on the old board to the connections marked HP. Here are the 2 black wires labeled HP. Trace the wires down and find the 2 HP black wires and their new connectors. Now carefully connect the black wires to the poles marked HPS on the new board. Next, look at the WPS or water pressure switch on your diagram. There are two purple wires. They connected on the old board to the connections marked X1. Look at the old board and you'll see where the two purple wires were connected to X1. These purple wires come into the box here and connect to the water pressure switch right on the outside. Now find the WPS label on the new board and carefully connect the two wires. Now for the next two connections, we will refer to page 2 of your wiring diagram. Step 1 is to locate the black wire attached to the fan blower relay and connect it to the low voltage terminal strip. Here is the black wire connected to the fan blower relay and the low voltage terminal strip. Carefully disconnect the wire from the low voltage terminal strip and you will see that it's connected to a second wire through a piggyback terminal. Separate these two wires from the piggyback terminal using pliers or wire cutters if necessary. Now one black wire goes to the fan relay. The other one has a black and white stripe. It gets reconnected exactly where you removed it on the low voltage terminal strip. The black wire that comes from the fan blower relay gets connected to the pole marked fan on the new control board. Next, in step 2, we locate the blue wire on the fan blower relay and connect that to the second pole labeled fan on the new board. Locate the blue wire on the fan relay as shown. The blue wire gets connected to the pole marked fan on the new control board. Now let's look at the compressor contactor. On one side is a purple wire. On the other side is a black and white wire. Once again, the purple wire and the black and white wire. Here on the wiring diagram, follow COM. Purple and black and white wires, they connected on the old board to CCG and CC. These wires get attached to the new board where it's labeled COM for compressor as shown here. Next, we will look at these two black wires inside the box labeled frost sensor, these two thicker wires. Here in the diagram, we can see the EVAP. Two black wires on the old board, they attach to FP as shown. These will be connected here on the board where it's labeled EVAP. Next, we will look at the water temperature sensor wires that are yellow inside the box. Here we can see the yellow wires coming from H2O going to water on the diagram. Here on the old board is where they were connected. On the new board, they go on the poles marked H2O as shown. These two orange wires will not be used at all. You can ignore them. They were for an extra water pressure switch that the new board doesn't need. Now let's look again at page 2 of your wiring diagram. Look for this long black wire on the low voltage terminal strip. It will get connected to the pole marked C on the new board. This red power wire will get connected to R on the new board. Here is the long black wire from the low voltage terminal strip, and here is the red power wire. Connect them to the poles on the new board marked 24 VAC, the black to C and the red to R. Now let's look at the wiring diagram where it says pool spa. We have two gray wires that were connected to X3 on the old board. Here is X3 on the old board, and you can see where the two gray wires were attached. On the new board, there is a label that says Pool and Spa, with two screws on a terminal strip. Unscrew the screw and insert a gray wire, then tighten the connection. Do this for both wires. Now we can use cable ties to clean up the wires. Here we're using 3 of them to keep the wires wrapped together and neat. Close the door and screw in the 2 screws securing your new board assembly. Reattach the cover and you've completed the retrofit new board assembly on your heat pump.